What's going on, y'all? It's your boy. uh, got a break. Got about maybe an hour, 2 hour break. I'm in my place. I'm in St. Louis, Missouri. I get a chance to be on Facebook Live again because the Wi-Fi is much more stronger here. So I'm really, and I get to be on YouTube. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Listen, today is a beautiful day. I want to send a shout out to every single person from North Carolina that came, that drove, and did their sessions with me. It was amazing. We had some really good sessions. But I'm gonna say this one thing though. A lot of those people were like, a lot of y'all was very private. Y'all realize North Carolina was the place that I did the least um, lives with because everybody's like, send it to me private. But I want to address the reason for that. The reason for that being is because there are some people who come on and can be very rude. And I want to address that because I think that's, people will be who they are. And, it's sort of a harsh word, you know, it like, it's like a sword, all right? And I don't think it's fair for people to feel vulnerable. I mean, they can feel vulnerable, but when you come and you be more insulting and, call people fat or big or ugly or, you know, I don't think that's even conducive. Like, why are you even here? That is not the object of the session. The object of the session is not to put that person on ridicule. It's to show them love, because that's what we're all here for. And I honestly, truthfully do not appreciate when people do that. It's the reason why so much people started to say, you know what, don't put me on live. It's because some trolls, and I'm not saying it is all, because we have some we got some pit bulls who would take them trolls down and spit them out like as if they were chewing, like they were chewing bone. But when you see that happening, that's a no-no. Because people start to get afraid of coming on because a lot of people have insecurities about themselves, and we don't want them to come on and feel a type of way because they're sharing their soul with us and being very vulnerable towards sharing who they are. And you're gonna have a troll come on and be like, if this is overweight, obese weak. Listen, if I even think, I would block and delete you point blank, because first you're coming off from the wrong angle. And I want y'all to know whoever's coming on my live, know fully well that if there's anybody that's sort of insulting to you, and if I get a hold of them, they may not even care if they're on my live or not, because I may not be absolutely nothing to them. However, they won't have access to your experience anymore. So don't feel afraid to come on my live and you know, feel as if like, you're gonna be ridiculed. I want you to know that you're in safe hands. Every single person that comes on my live, the majority of them are very loving, kind, and very welcoming. As you can see, they come on and say, happy healing. We thank you, we appreciate you. And I appreciate every single person that came on and shared their story, shared their lives, shared their experience into the afterlife, in spirit world or the past life, and all their Akashic experience. I appreciate every single one of y'all. All right, if you can't hear me, I don't know why, but maybe it's your phone, but I'm gonna take that out just to make sure that you can hear me. All right, okay. What's going on, Latanya? Yes. Justina, what's going on? So anyway, like I said, um, I'm on I'm on YouTube. If this signal is terrible, you could go on YouTube. I'm also on YouTube right now, and we're gonna have a discussion about some things. Other than that, I just wanted to get that out of the way to let you know that if you're coming on my live, that you are in safe hands, and you have more people that love and show appreciation for you doing that than there are trolls. North Carolina, I had the least amount of people who wanted to come on live. Everybody was like, I want to be private. I want to be private. You see how they go? I want to be private. And that's fine. And listen, you have all the rights to do that, you know. But I want you to understand that when you share your story, you affect more people than you do it yourself. Because them watching what you're going through may be a similar story to theirs. And you bring healing to them just by experiencing opening up yourself. All right, to be honest with you. So if that's the case, don't feel bashful. Remember now, the true essence of power is actually being vulnerable. From when you can actually find yourself saying, here I am, this is me, accept me for who I am. What is more powerful than that? I don't see anything as powerful as that. Nothing else. When you can say, listen, I am this and I am that, that's more powerful than saying you will never know who I am. That to me sounds like a coward. Coward is like, boy, I don't want nobody to know who I am. They just, boy, I just don't want anybody to know. You feel me? Like, come on. The true essence of power is being vulnerable. As a matter of fact, it's the reason why some people are able to go further. Another thing is you need to have your, get your creative energy together. Being logical and overthinking won't get you. It just keeps you human. It keeps you human. And you're more than just a human, aren't you? Of course you are. You're more than just a human. You're a soul having a human experience. So that means that you should not forget that you're a soul. And a soul is a creator. That means creative energy, anything to do with your creative energy is what really keeps you in the essence of being that godlike energy. How can you say that you're a god and you don't create nothing? Huh? Like, come on. You don't even try to create anything. You don't want a lot of people go like this. They say to themselves, man, I don't have a creative bone in my body. You know what that means? You're just saying I'm more human than I am a god. And I don't know if that's conducive of experiencing a godlike experience. You feel me? You just got to learn how to use your creative energy. If you got to pick up one of your child's create like coloring book and just use your energy of, oh, it should be this. I should use this color. That's using your creative energy. As simple as that. As simple as picking a pencil and just drawing and doodling, tapping and using your creative energy. Dancing is a creative sort of experience. So find yourself just being like, now that's just a little bit of my white boy dance. But you get what I'm saying, though. You have to learn to use your creative energy in order to be a creator. Like creator is a God, right? So, will you say, Amanda, you're in Canada? So, guys, that's what needs to be done. Find yourself doing some creative stuff. One of my friends inside our group, inside the full moon group, mentioned that like puzzles, like pieces of puzzles, putting them together is also using your right brain and your left brain, but you use your right brain more so because you gotta basically create energy. You gotta create that piece of it's already, you just gotta put it together. So you're using left and right brain, and it's still good because you're using a little bit of your creative energy. That is important in going into this session, not necessarily just being logical. Now, I had experience yesterday. where somebody just is very, very logic, don't use any creative energy at all, and it was very hard for them to get there. They were just making logic and forcing and doing things, and it's so innocent because they don't know. Nobody tells you that you need to tap into your creative energy in order to be godlike. The full moon group is on Facebook. You, I think it's a link on my business page. It's on my business page. You can check it out. I have this on my Facebook group. I mean, on my Facebook, um, on my page, my regular page. Now let's talk about some stuff. Yeah, it's a good, like I said, it's a great distraction. Now let's talk about the afterlife. And I see people still on Facebook and YouTube. It seems to be more clear on YouTube, you know. However, I just want to reach everybody so you can be able to go back and see this video on Facebook and on YouTube. All right, so what's the question? Can you cure things like diabetes from quantum healing? The answer is yes. Don't tell the doctor I said that though. Diabetes is basically a hereditary disease, which means that you came at this lifetime and came into that body knowing fully well that you'd be susceptible to that because you needed to learn some form of discipline on how to, organize how you eat and how to treat the physical body better. So having that diabetes is basically something your higher self chose. It sounds crazy, right? But the soul really doesn't care about comfort. It cares about growth. The higher self cares about growth. The human side cares about comfort and needing to be comfortable. You know, that's just how it is. What about anxiety and mental illness? Anxiety hypnosis helps with anxiety. That's what clinical hypnotherapy does. That's what I do. Will I be going back to using Instagram? Yeah, yeah, I'll be going back to using Instagram. My next phone is right here next to me, but it's dead. I normally go Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube all at once. Um, I'm trying to distinguish whether I want to do the past life regression or quantum healing session. How do you choose? Well, but quantum healing, like I said, quantum healing is a past life on steroids. And what I do is I focus on more healing, on things in that same lifetime that is still affecting you. So basically, you use both of them in order to past life regression. Little healing. I focus on one, but it's more focused on you experiencing the past life and you going into the spirit world and you getting the Akashic records and all that other stuff. But a quantum healing, I drill it. If you see those people who be like, I drill one healing, heal that, and then heal that. That's more so. So I could heal the physical body and the spiritual, mental, and emotional body. All right. On YouTube, I ask you, can we incarnate as animals like before this life? Is it possible we were animals? Many lifetimes ago, many lifetimes ago, before you, what I call scaled up from being an element to a one cell, to a plant, to an insect, to an animal, to human beings. But it's no regret. It's no digressing. There's no digressing. You don't digress. It's very rare that I've seen souls digress into being animals. What's the question, Champion Simon? Good night. Why does anything goes good for me? I want to say this to you, Champion Simmons. You are here with your fingers to be able to type. The fact that nothing is going good for you is actually good. The fact that you can see this screen to talk to me is a blessing. The fact that you even breathing to even type, or the fact that there's blood running through your veins is amazing. See, once you start to give gratitude to the small things, more things come. So, but if you try to be more ungrateful and say, nothing goes wrong for you, nothing goes good for you, then the fact that you're wearing clothes you should show gratitude to that. The fact that you even have a phone and there are people who don't have it, you should show gratitude. And the more you do that small stuff of gratitude towards those small things, the bigger things come to you. So you need to learn how to show gratitude to the small things, and then those stuff will come rolling to you like as if it was right down the fingertips. Now I'm getting questions on both of these. I'm gonna try my best to make sure that I scale down how the conscious mind. Basically, we evolved from that already. Yes. How can I sharpen my clear audience skills? I always hear ringing in my ears and energy around me. Well, try this, Bella. Try blindfolding yourself. Try spending a day in nature blindfold. And I want you to hone in the Bible we say hone into to each sound, small insects, sounds of grass, sounds of the tree cracking. Try to find yourself using no senses, no eyes, no touching, and blindfold yourself and just listen to the small sounds. And the better you do that, the more you do that, the more your clairaudient sounds come. It just, the more you do that more and more, it gets better and better. So I just want to make sure, take a look at my YouTube to answer the questions here. All right. All right. How do I tap into what? How do you tap into yourself? Tonya Brown asked. I'm like at a standstill. There is what you do is all you do is you just don't worry about the small things. Try find yourself, Tonya Brown, um, going away straight. Like I said, you want to tap into yourself, observe yourself. Find that you go over every emotion you have and observe yourself. Self-observation is the key to learning yourself. And what I mean self-observation is observe yourself experiencing your emotions. Sit back and be the eye behind the eyes and feel. And I want you to just think about the stuff that makes you feel a certain way. The more you tap into yourself, the more you become stronger and understanding who you are. Can you cover things like diabetes and quantum healing? I've already answered that. Do you have the same astrological sign all the life we live? No. As you evolve, so does your astrological signs. As a matter of fact, you are not really the sign that you were when you're born. There is a chart called your progress chart. And in that progress chart, it shows exactly how you evolved. So at this point in time, right now, I am a Capricorn sun, meaning strictly business, straightforward. I'm a Libra rising. So this is the best probably I've ever looked in my whole entire life. Now that I'm a Libra rising. When I was a Leo rising, it looked more like a lion. I look like a lion now. But this, I could say, if you look at my past, you'd be like, damn, Astro's transformed from something, what he was, to something different now. And that's because you're not the same thing that you were when you began this journey. And we evolve as time go on, astrologically. Now your natal chart tells you how your map of your life, but your progress chart tells you where you are at this point in time. And that's what I look at. I look at that, and I look at your draconic chart to take a look at your soul. And yeah, it's a beautiful thing. So you're not the same, and you progress as time go on. Sometimes you choose a certain physical body, you know. Okay, so I hope I answered that question. Yes, YouTube is the spot right now. What about anxiety and mental illness? I think I answered that. When you go back to Instagram, I answered that. So I'm trying to distinguish whether I wanted to answer that. If your loved ones are there to greet you when you come to spirit world, have you already reincarnated or are they waiting? I'm going to try to understand your question. If your loved ones are there to greet you when you come to spirit world, have they already reincarnated, or are they waiting? There's a possibility that they have reincarnated. Your soul is not limited to the physical body, this physical avatar that we use. Your consciousness is very, very vast. And you could be in spirit world, you could be here, and you could also be in another physical body. Your consciousness can be split. Your consciousness could be experiencing another experience in the same lifetime, or in another lifetime, or in another galaxy. Your consciousness is so vast, so amazing. This is why I say that you have no idea how God-like you are. So even though your loved ones are, meeting you in spirit world, there's a possibility that they still incarnated in another lifetime. It's because their consciousness that you remember is sharing that energy, that knowledge with you at that point in time. All right. The other question. Let me check Facebook. Sorry, I want to make sure that I get enough. Get everybody on YouTube. I ask, can we incarnate? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can split consciousness sometimes present as multiple personalities or mental breakdowns? Now, I'm gonna tell you this. Those people who experience, schizophrenia, they, according to my experience, live between their veil between dimensions is very thin, and the veil may have been, completely gone, and they go between lifetime and lifetime, different dimensions, and sometimes they could be a ninja turtle, sometimes they could be a dog, sometimes they could be. I'm just saying, not saying that they can regress into being a dog, but I'm saying that there's so much that their consciousness sweep back and forth that you don't know who to expect at that point in time. And it's because their veil is very thin. And they're the most psychic ones. The most psychic people are the ones that goes into schizophrenia very easily. And it's because they could go into the future, they could go in the past and the present very easily. Based upon my experience now. All right. All right. Let me go back to one more question on Facebook. I heard that the super consciousness has no sense of humor. Is that true? That sometimes things that you imagine, if it's negative or positive, you're super conscious. This is correct. You're right. What is Tanisha McCogle? Yes. You. And that's why it's why when you energy goes where focus goes. So let me give you an example. A previous relationship, a previous marriage of mine. Me and she was basically handicapped, or she had one leg, and one of the things she said was, you know what, I don't want a house with stairs. I just don't want a house with stairs. And I was like, boy, look here, this is gonna happen. Oh, and we was about to move. We're moving, and we have a 4 or 5 different places that was like, yeah, y'all can come here. All of a sudden, all of them shut down, and the only one that was available on that day was the one with stairs. And that's because energy goes where focus goes. You don't say what you want, or you don't say what you don't want. You say what you want. You focus on what you want and not what you don't want. Because energy goes where focus goes. That's as simple as that. I'm gonna go to YouTube. Sorry, Facebook. I'll be back with you. Um, can clinical hypnotherapy be done over the phone? I'm due in August. Oh, congratulations. Um, this is why hypnosis is mostly done in person. It's much more stronger. Now, the reason why I say that is because you got to pay attention. Full, actually, hypnosis is focus concentration. That's what it is. And in order for you to really get the full experience, in person is way better. All right. What is the significance of the number of council members each person has? Do you choose? Your higher self and your spirit guides and spirit teachers, help you select your council. they help you to help select your counsel. So you are in the process of selecting your counsel. You know, believe it or not, you chose to be here on earth. Everybody, some people be like, I was forced to be here on earth. No, you weren't. You chose this. Your higher self chose this. This is your lower self saying, I can't stand this place. I'll be getting a quantum healing. Awesome, Unique. Sounds good to me. I'm not sure if I am stating this correctly, but my Saturn is in Aquarius, 11th house. What does that mean for me now that we are in Saturn return? That, well, you are in your Saturn return. Most people who are in the Saturn return are in between the ages of 29 and 32. And this means that the path that you're on, Evelyn Taylor, if you're not on the right path that you're supposed to be on, Saturn return knocks you down and sends you back on that path you're supposed to be on. That's what it means. What it means is that you better make sure that whatever it is you're doing, that is in line with your highest good. Because Saturn, don't mess around. Is it possible to pick up hints along the way about a previous life before doing PLR? I'm very obsessed with researching slavery, and this has been this way all my life. Teresa McGrath, yes. As a matter of fact, we as human beings have the capability of doing this if we quiet down our mind enough. If we even focus on, subtle things about ourselves, and we have an intention. So I'm gonna give you guys, and this may work for some of y'all who are basically more creative and more in your creative energy on your right brain and your sensing and feeling and emotions. This may work for you. Set an intention when you go to bed at night to have a past life regression or go into a past life. Right before you go to bed, tell yourself, I want to go into a past life that is still affecting me. I want to make sure, I want to sense and feel a past life. I want to go and visit that. I want to see it. I'm definitely going to do that. That's what I'm going to do. And you're going to do that. Some people, they will experience it. Some people will not. Some people will, some people won't. But the possibility of it happening is far greater increased when you set an intention before you go to bed at night. So that's another thing that you can do. All right. So another question is, Natoya Black. I've tried to self-hypnotize myself and watch past life regression hypnosis videos to see what happened in my past life. However, I couldn't see what they were asking me to see. Why is that? Well, sometimes it takes a brain surgeon. Like I said this before, a brain surgeon could be the best brain surgeon in the world. But can he perform brain surgery on himself? Tough question, huh? Sometimes it takes an outside person to do it for you, to help you out. And that's where somebody like myself, or I should say my students, they're not my students yet because I haven't started a course yet, would be able to do. All right. So that's the reason why. It's because you're probably using too much of your left brain. Hey, so since discovering you, I've been down the past life rabbit hole. I discovered Dr. Brian Weiss, yes. I just wanted to know if you read any of his works. Excited for the new tour dates. Yeah, Brian Weiss was my first I would say he was my first mentor. And then Dr. Michael Newton. And then there was my all-time one is Dolores Cannon. Like I would go to any seminar in my mind, any seminar, Brian Weiss, the seminars, I've been like two or three, I think it's two seminars that he was at, three seminars. I'd read his book, I'd go on his page, I'd do all that stuff because I was so fascinated. I was like, at least somebody understands, and yeah. Brian Weiss, but my all-time favorite is Dolores Cannon. Some people can't stomach her because she was very blunt, very bold, but I loved her. The truth. Okay, so let me go to Facebook. Sorry, I heard that it's super. Okay, good night. Why does anything goes good for me? I didn't answer that. How can I sharpen my clear? I didn't answer that. Express gratitude for the present moment. Yes. When I met my now boyfriend, I had a feeling I can't lose him again. Does that mean we may have spend a lifetime together? Also, I can see and feel how my boyfriend I'm my boyfriend and I died. Oh, wow. You're deep. It could possibly be so. The answer to that is yes. That seems like a yes or no answer. Yes or no question. I'm glad you found him again. But know fully well that if you feel as if you're not gonna, that you don't want to lose him again, what you think is gonna happen? You're gonna lose him again because your focus is on not losing him again, and that's what's gonna manifest. You're gonna manifest losing him again because your focus is on I don't want to lose him again. The universe isn't here don't want, and it's lose him again. So you need to change your focus, and then yeah, you'll be good. All right, another question. Gosh. All right, let me go down. Sorry. There's a lot of questions. I'm sorry. Do you share the new tour dates, places yet? No. I'm manifesting me and my sister doing a second tour when you come to Texas. Definitely. Let's do that. Um, yes, guys, if you have the opportunity to take like what does it mean when someone feels like they don't belong, like they're a foreigner or an alien? I could tell you, and that's a question from Felicia Moria. Mora. Now, let me answer that. It could possibly be that you don't feel, you know, connected to this realm or this earth. It could also mean that, you've spent less lifetimes on earth than you have other planets. Or it could also mean that you, in previous lifetimes, alienated yourself from other people. Those are two possibilities that could possibly be your reasoning behind you not feeling as if you belong here. So the question is, Martina, you have given me hope. Though I have not had a session yet, I thank you for that. I look forward to learning my purpose and so forth. Thank you for saying those. I really appreciate it. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate you, Maria Little. How did you discover your gift? When I was a child, and this is the question is from highly influenced art. How did I discover my gift? My gift is a very strange one, like I tell people all the time. Um, it started off as a child, just seeing people for who they were in past lives. It went away as a child and it came back when I was a grown man. And from a child, children have gifts, and sometimes we shun them. You know, why are you talking to that invisible child? This child was talking crazy to this invisible peoples and making fun of that. And then they go to school and then their friends and people who are their associates tend to ridicule them, so they drop and they block those gifts. For me, it was the same thing when it came into being a young child. It disappeared and it came back as a grown man after I had a Kundalini awakening. Next question. Not to be ignorant, but if people choose their mission, assignment here and are born with severe birth defects or disabilities, okay, inability to care for themselves or require long-term care, for lack of better words, is that a lesson for their parents, caretakers to fulfill? Good question, Kisio. That's a lesson for both of them. One, for people who have control issues, you'd realize that most people who have control issues, some of them would experience autism. The reason why is because now they don't have any control over anything. So this is why you see autistic kids get really frustrated and start to get violent. And that's because in previous lifetimes, they may have been a soul that always needed to be in control. And they decided themselves, from a higher perspective, that they need to experience not having control. All right. So, and not necessarily, with birth defects and disabilities, there are always lessons in that. Lessons of surrendering, being vulnerable, not being in control. All of these are lessons that can be experienced with those things. All right. Quantum healing help children with autism. Uh, no, they chose that moment in time, and that's one of the hardest things to do. How can you get a child that can't focus to focus? Um, it's a hard thing to do. Yeah. I won't recommend it for any practitioner. It's a hard thing. But nice question though. Capricorn Sun, Gemini Rising, Cancer Moon, Terrica. All right. What are you saying? Sky Blue, great question. Okay. Yeah, it's a good question, but I wouldn't recommend it. Those children decided on doing that so they could lose this feeling of needing to be in control. Asha, what is the draconic chart? The draconic chart is a chart based upon a single point. This could be your north node, and which we use the north node as a single point. And you could also use the moon, you could use the planet. But the draconic chart is basically like the soul's chart, the chart of the soul. It tells me and anybody about how you truly are on the inside, the journey of your soul, the things you really, really hold dear to your soul. Can you figure if someone is really capable of quantum healing, like if they are legitimate? Well, everybody is capable of it. It's just that can they quiet down their mind enough? I could do my best to help you to quiet down your mind, but if you're in a practice of overthinking and overanalyzing and logifying and doubting and questioning and questioning and doubting, and that's a habit of yours, it's a hard habit to actually drop. So you have to basically self-observe yourself, and when you see yourself questioning and being too logical, find yourself dropping that. Okay. Hey, what's going on, Nikki G? Sky Blue, I asked this on the last question, but he didn't have time to answer. Hopefully, let's see the question. Like I said, autistic people, autistic children, have chosen that moment in time in order for them to experience not being in control, of being cared for, of being nurtured, how to learn how to either love and be loved. There is no healing in that. They don't need healing because they're autistic. They're autistic because they need to release being in control. They need to release and learn how to be loved. And it's a contract between the parent and that child. And that for the parent is learning how to love unconditionally. All these are lessons in those contracts. All right. Um, all right. Is that what happened with the young lady yesterday? Did she share consciousness or souls with another person? I can't remember. There's a few. Is it easy for outside energies to attach themselves to babies? No, not necessarily, unless that child is a channel, and even that it can be. We all come into this lifetime with spirit guides, spirit teachers. If that child is just definitely came into this lifetime, they're innocent. That we all have spirit guides, spirit angels, spirit teachers, whatever it may be, to help us in some way. Are you able to explain why I'm only clairaudient, can hear clear as day when I'm falling asleep? I'm not sure. That sounds like a very special case, Asia. I'm not sure of that. I can't answer that. Um, I'm the one, Allison Mitchell, telling you to charge more. you know, you know, I, I'm gonna be honest with you. I ain't trying to break anybody. I'm just trying to help people to understand who they are from an affordable perspective and also not robbing myself. I think what I charge now is affordable for a lot of people as opposed to charging $500-$600. And my soul won't sit well with that right now. No matter how um what's the word I want to use? No matter how popular I get, you know, I won't do that right now. Not right now at this very point in time. You could be the best celebrity. You could be the celebrity of this world, and I'll charge you the same way. The same way. It's not about the money, even though it is still because you have energy exchange is very important, and I could never get those hours back. That is your contract with minds of experiencing your experience. But I won't. I appreciate you saying that, and I appreciate you giving me value more than I'm valuing what I'm doing, and I appreciate you for that. But I won't go up on my price because I want everybody to experience this. It's about the collective experiencing this and us becoming more awakened. We've been told that when we die, we go to hell and we're gonna, burn and stink and rot and stink and burn. And that's not true at all. And I could prove it through experience. So, when people come to me with this Bible and you're gonna go to hell with this stuff, I'm like, not the 10,982nd person. I'm, you can't tell me that. How can you tell me but hell? And I've already done this to 10,982 people in the world. Like, you can't come to me with hell. Talking you're gonna burn and rot and stink in hell. Huh? Come on. You better tell that to those 10,982 people. Oh yeah, I keep record. So when they come with that stuff, definitely. Mm-mm. What do you think about Elon Musk and others trying to go live on Mars? Well, Elon Musk is only doing what his soul mission is. That's his soul mission. He came here to do what he came to do. That's why he has so much money. That's why he has so much technology. Do you really believe that Elon Musk is originally a human being, even though he was born here? Think about that. I want you to think about that. Um, Now the question is, let me go to Facebook. Sorry. Okay. Learn to call things as not as they are. I hear ringing sometimes. It's so loud. It sounds quiet. I believe you. Speaking of clairvoyance, do you know why I can't hear things as clear as day, but only when I'm falling asleep? Oh, I think you asked it on Facebook. On YouTube. Discover gifts. Oh, these are the same questions I'm asking on YouTube. All right, cool. So, guys, go on Facebook, go to my YouTube, and we'll talk from there because it's sort of like confusing trying to do both of them at the same time. So the question is, what do you think about Elon Musk? I can answer that. Next week, I hope to figure out why I see the number 69 and 96 like 30 times a day. Well, maybe that's Cherie Chantel. See, the Scorpio side of me was just coming out. I was just gonna come out the Scorpio side. It's gonna be like, you seen 69 a lot, 96? Hmm. Maybe it's a connection to something um, other than a sexual position. Maybe the 69, meaning that 69 is basically the number that deals with cancer, actually. If you look at the sign of cancer, is 6996. And it could mean something for you. Now, Jessica Taylor Bay asks, are there ways to change your contract? Yeah, of course there is. You're God. You can change your contract. Of course you can. But you got to consult with your higher self. If it isn't for your highest good, then it won't be changed. Are we the same zodiac sign each time? No, we're not. We evolve as time go on. Um, does split consciousness present as multiple personalities or mental breakdown at times? I witnessed where it has, but not necessarily all the time, honey love. That isn't the case in all scenarios that I've experienced. Split consciousness is basically consciousness leaving and going into another energy entity. Sometimes that split consciousness can happen at the moment of birth, at the moment that you actually, leave spirit world and say, you know what, I'm going to decide to be born two times at the same time. Consciousness is very, very vast and is very multifaceted, unlimited. like the potentials of the consciousness is so. Doing these regressions, I've seen a lot of different stuff. All right. Hey, yeah, I never understood why people say that. Okay, Asia, I can hear spirits too, usually when I'm sleeping or just waking. I can believe you. Astro, please go back to 6 minutes and 51 and read the question. It's my second time and question answer. I don't know if I could go, I have to go back. Keisha McClendon, you'll have to probably ask that question again. I think I answered it. I'm going to try that tonight. Okay. Thank you for answering my question. I've been feeling like I am not on the right path all 2020 until now, and I've been struggling. I'm struggling and finding my purpose. Well, when we do a session, Evelyn, I hope that, but you can also do it by looking at, astrology teaches you your path. It's very, it's you could basically know where you're coming, where you're going. Your life number, your life path number, your destiny number are all connected to your name and your date of birth. All of them, all these are tools. Your hands, this palmistry, basically gives you also a map of what your purpose is. Have I do future life progressions? I have, yes. It's normal for a viewer to somehow sense the past life of your clients. For example, there have been times I have answered the questions for the clients before they answered. It means that you're truly clairvoyant, and it means you could be a very powerful individual. Trust maneuver. What does it mean when you are being tortured by your own spirit? I don't think that's your own spirit torturing you. Michelle, you need to check that out. You may think that's your own spirit. It probably ain't. I was meditating, trying to find out my gifts. I kept seeing the moon. Do you know what that means? Uh, I don't know. Maybe you could check out your moon sign. Find out what your moon sign is and find out exactly what's connected to your moon. And you'll be able to. How does this work with adult ADD? That's very hard. I'll have to do what we call an overload of the brain. It's a technique that hypnotherapists do for people who have ADD. Doing a session like what I do, and also there's other ways of activating your gifts. Is it a bad thing to be a left brainer? No, it's not good or bad. It's just that if you want to tap into good left brainer is more focused on being a human being, and there's nothing wrong with being a human being. It's just that you limit yourself to being a god. You limit yourself to being a creator by being left brained. All right. What does I have an autistic 4-year-old, so I have to learn to love unconditionally. Yes, exactly. What do you think could be the reason for a person that does scorns? That does scorns? Like not wanting to touch mops, not interested in house chores, can't stand to look at a mop to a point where they would not even. Well, Leticia Headley, this means that you have a phobia, and that phobia could be past life connected. Thank you for doing this. I'm finally beginning to feel like I'm not strange and alone in my gifts. This community and you doing this is so good for so many of us. Thank you very much. I appreciate you for saying that too. If you're injured in this lifetime, example, getting hit by a car, will that affect you in the next lifetime? It can affect you if your emotions gets tied to it. If you feel a sense of anger, animosity, resentment, disappointment, guilt, all those things will create what I call a heart imprint or a soul imprint. All right. And you go back home. Would you be able to come there? So would I be able to come there for my healing? Because I'm going to be like Stella, gotta go back traveling to you for Renee. All right. When I go home, I normally, if you miss the second tour, I'm gonna be doing a little workshop. That's in New Orleans. After that, I'm gonna be in June. I think it's a workshop I'm going to be going to. You could catch me to that. I'll be talking about it later on, and then when I go back home, I will be home training my new students, my new pupils, and plus teaching my astrology school. So yeah, and then tour won't start until probably 2 months after. All right, guys, listen, I thank you for coming on, and if I didn't get to your questions, I apologize, and I thank you for coming and sharing. And if you like if you like my content, if you like my answers, if you want to really see more of me, then hit the like button. I get to see exactly who you are, and we get to communicate. And thank you. And like I said before, if nobody didn't congratulate you today, tonight is a beautiful night. And whatever you're gonna be doing, it's gonna be successful, beautiful, wonderful. I congratulate you on that. I congratulate you on a beautiful sleep, on some good food, some good sex. If you got a partner, like, yeah, getting it on. I congratulate you on all your orgasms in the future. Just joking. I'm just serious. Well, I'll see you guys later. Thank you for, coming on. We'll talk later. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Until I have a regression, another one. Enjoy.